Hi everyone, it's Angela here from Happy Dotting Company. We have some new product here to share with you, and during this video I'd also thought I would take the opportunity to share with you a little trick for how to keep your paint palette nice and moist and usable while sort of mid-project that you might take, say, a week to complete. So before we get into that, I'll just share with you the new product. So these are basically silicone paint palettes. Now, this is not a particularly new idea. In fact, I think I bought a silicone paint palette off Amazon about 10 years ago. However, it wasn't a great size. It didn't have enough wells, and it was only like a single paint palette. So anyway, I've recently revisited this idea, and it came about because actually I have been using these paint pots for quite a while now, and whilst I think these are a great idea and they are very useful, what actually happened is that I had accumulated so many, some with only a tiny amount of paint in the bottom, and I just wasn't using them. So although they keep for a while in the paint pots, I just felt that the paint in the paint pots was getting wasted. And I ended up with so many that essentially one day I just had to go through them all and open up and clean up so that, at least these could be reused. And these are ideal for doing classes as well, for actually holding dot mandala classes, which we do. But I kind of went back to the idea of using the silicone wells in the silicone paint palettes, because essentially they're just so easy to clean. And having this idea where you have so many wells on a sheet, they're really easy to actually cut up into whatever size suits you. And then when you finish with your project, they simply just let the paint dry in them. So maybe about 3 or 4 days, just put it aside somewhere, let the paint completely dry, and then you can just easily pop it out. Now, you still may want to give it a rinse under the tap, but it's nothing like, unfortunately, you really don't want to put paint down your drains. It's not good for the environment, and it's not fun cleaning it, that's for sure. So what's great about these is that you can cut them up super easily, just with simple scissors, into whatever size suits you. So I'll go on now to, I should mention that this one actually has 35 wells and this one has 15 wells. So this one is ideal for small projects like when you're dotting on stones and such, whereas this one lends itself to actually using brushes, where you really want to have a bit more paint in there and really get your brush in there. So they're deep enough to use, the long mandala brushes. So I'll put these aside for a moment and just talk about the paint palettes. So this is the way that I've been doing it for a while. So essentially what I've got here is a fairly narrow deco art container, and I just keep my paint palette on there all the time, and it fits the other deeper one as well, so depending on what I use. And what I actually do is I put a piece of kitchen paper on the bottom. Now this is moist with water, then I put my paint palette on, then I put my paint in my paint palette, and I just use this actually on the tray permanently. And then when I finish painting for the moment, half an hour later, whatever it is, you can just literally put the cover on like that. And what happens is that the moisture that's in that piece of kitchen towel at the bottom will keep that environment in there nice and humid, and that will stop a film forming on the top of your acrylic paints there. So, if it's really, really hot and humid, sometimes I have actually also put a damp, this is just a wet wipe, a damp piece of wet wipe over some colours that I'm not using, and just use the colours that I'm using. But I am in Brisbane and in Australia, and it can be nearly 40 degrees on a midsummer day. So that's only in extreme weather. Otherwise, I just leave it open. And, you know, then I just leave it like that with the cover on the top. And that will last for about a week. You know, every environment that has humidity in it does need cleaning properly. Otherwise, obviously, it will get mold. But I have found it easily keeps for about a week like this. And you can keep revisiting the same paint palette and the same paint, just top it up as you need it, you know, and you have minimal waste. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, when you're done, you take your paint palette off, leave it somewhere. You've got your extra trays, because obviously you get multiple trays in the pack, and then you start afresh with your new project. Leave this for a few days to completely dry, and then you simply pop your leftover acrylic bits out into the bin, give your tray a little rinse, and Bob's your uncle. You've got a nice clean tray spare for your next project. So I hope you've enjoyed this clip. These paint palettes that we have available at the moment, they're only available in our Etsy shop. I will put the link in the description. Now, you may or may not know that the biggest discount we offer is to our website subscribers. So if you're not already a website subscriber, the link will be down below. And please subscribe. We do offer a big discount with all new product launches. So anyway, please join our community, and we will keep you informed of new developments, tricks and tips. And I really hope you enjoy this one. You know, in this year, we have got quite a number of new products coming out. Very exciting year. So stay tuned, people. Thanks for listening. Bye.